Hello and welcome back to another episode of the DIYguy.net. Alright, today we're going to replace the rear sway bar links in a 2007 Subaru Outback. This is going to work from 2005 to 2009 for a direct replacement. Other Subaru models and makes will be relatively the same, whether it's a Forester and or Impreza. The sway bar link itself may be a little bit different, so make sure you get the proper replacement part for your make and model. It is a fairly simple job that you can do in your driveway. We have access to the lift today, so we're going to go ahead and use the lift. It's just easier to film and make the video, but this is a task you can accomplish on the ground in your driveway. So if you were to do it on the driveway, you're going to go ahead and park your car on a flat level surface, chalk the front wheels so it doesn't roll. Then we're going to grab a 19mm and a breaker bar and break loose the lug nuts on both rear tires. And once we have that done, we can go ahead and grab our jack stands and jack and elevate the back of the car so we can go ahead and remove both rear wheels, as it just makes it easier to get in there and get to the sway bar links. After that, the procedure will be the same as for us once we get it up in the air. Alright, so we got the vehicle in the air. We're going to go ahead and get a 19mm and remove the lug nuts and the wheel on both the driver and passenger side. Alright, so if we come into the car, you'll see our rear axle right here, and right here, mounted to the rear hub, is the lower part of the sway bar link, and right here. So we're going to go ahead and spray this nut here, that nut right there, with some penetrating oil, let it sit for a minute, and then we'll get to removing it. So we're using some Deep Creep by Seafoam. Like I said, we'll do the passenger side and the driver's side. Alright, so we'll grab a 14mm socket with a swivel end, just makes it a little bit easier. We'll grab our impact wrench for us and go ahead and turn that loose. You could use a ratchet if you need to. You also may need a pair of channel locks pliers. Now some do have a hex nut in here, so you can actually get a wrench on it. They make some better and thinner wrenches for these. I'll link them on the website that are thinner to get in there. They're not as wide as a typical wrench to make it a little easier to get in there. But this one does not have that hex nut, so we're just going to hold it with these adjustable pliers to make sure it doesn't spin in there. Once we got the nut off, we'll go ahead and pull it out of the bottom of the knuckle. Alright, so now that we have the lower part of the sway bar link removed from the hub, we need to get the top 14mm nut off. For this, we're going to use a 14mm ratcheting wrench and the same adjustable pliers to hold it, and then go ahead and remove it. We got a crack loose, we'll switch over to the ratcheting part of the wrench. Once we have the nut removed, we'll remove the old link. Alright, so we opened our new link. Everything matches up size-wise and diameter-wise. So we're going to go ahead and remove these nylon locking nuts. We'll go ahead and put it in the sway bar, pull it down, put it into our hub, and then start these nylon nuts. Now you can tell this is a back one because the nuts are on the same side. Now if this was a front sway bar link, it would come off and be on the opposite side over here. This would be rotated around facing this way. Alright, so now that we have the rear nut started by hand, we'll grab those pair of channel locks, hold the inside right here, this metal, and then go ahead and grab a 17mm and snug down that nut. Alright, so now that we have the top part of the sway bar link on there and tight, we're going to go ahead and switch, do the driver's side top, and then we'll come back and put the lower part of the links inside the hub. Alright, so we're on the driver's side. As you can see, this is where I told you the sway bar link was broken. It is separated here. This piece moves without actually moving the sway bar. So anytime they hit a bump or a pothole, you get a loud clunk where the sway bar would hit or bang into something. So that was the reason we were replacing these rear sway bar links on this car. So we're going to go ahead and remove this old link complete, the broken part out of the sway bar link and the part out of the lower knuckle here. Then we'll go ahead and install the new one into the top, get that tightened down, then we'll continue on with installing it into the knuckle. Alright, so now we get the driver's side top done. We can go ahead and get them into our hub on the bottom. Got the driver's side in. We'll go ahead and get the nut started. Flip back to the passenger side, get that one in and get that nut started. Alright, so now that we got both links on, the nut started by hand, we'll grab a 7mm and an impact and tighten that or snug that down and do the same thing on the driver's side. And then go ahead and tighten these and then torque them to 34 foot-pounds of torque on both the driver's and passenger side. Alright, so now that we have all 4 nuts installing the new sway bar links on the driver and passenger side, we're going to go ahead and lower the car a little bit, reinstall our wheels, and start our lug nuts by hand. Alright, so now that we have them started by hand, we'll grab a 19mm impact. We're just going to snug them down. Then we'll go to the driver's side, do the same thing, get the wheel on, start them by hand, snug them down. Then we'll go ahead and lower the vehicle, and then we'll go ahead and torque them. So you want to go in a star pattern when you tighten lug nuts, just to make sure you pull the wheel on evenly and it sits on the hub nicely, so you don't get any vibrations. Alright, so now we have them on, stuck down. Like I said, we'll lower the car to the ground and then go ahead and torque them to 90 foot-pounds of torque. So with the driver and passenger side lug nuts torqued down to the proper specification, that is it. We just shown you how to replace the rear sway bar links in a 2005 to 2009 Subaru Outback. Don't forget to click the link in the description, which will take you to our website for a full write-up. You can also click that subscribe button you placed in the middle for you. On the right, you'll find a recommended video just for you. And on the left side, you'll see our recent upload. Thanks for watching another episode of the DIYguy.net.